my challenge is to you guys is, what would you do differently in this case? How do you prevent this doom loop from happening? And how do you sanely manage your salespeople in a decline and turn it around and understand how it goes back to the other direction?
Who goes first?
Go ahead, and I'll follow you.
All right. I think one of the main shifts that we could make, you see all these different community-led growth, product-led growth, partner-led growth, relationship-led growth, every led growth that you can imagine. I think, one, my position is that most of them need to be enabled at different times throughout the customer journey for different reasons, or maybe there's a market basket of the right ones, but it's no pick one pony and then bet all the chips on it. Sorry for the poker reference. But to overcome the problem that I think you're talking about is that, when you think about how sports teams are enabled, everyone has only one goal. They have the same set of OKRs that they want them to do. They may be different activities that support that OKR, but our sales, marketing, product, and partner teams are not all going after the same OKR. If you did, there's a whole lot less of, hey, what are you doing on first? What'd you do on third? You didn't turn the double, all these other things, right? It's just, now how do we break this down? If it is complex and going downhill, how do we simplify and then get small and start testing, right? But that would be one of the ways that I would kick in motion. Let's get everybody focused on the same set of OKRs, and then let's figure out what we're going to start to test to elevate ourselves out of this place.
And how would you do that?
In terms of
how do you get everybody on the same page with single OKR?
Yeah, well, that's change management. I mean, that's not going to be an overnight thing, or it could be an overnight thing, and you could Elon Musk the show and just say, hey, if you don't want to be here, this is how it's going down. Exit stage right is the severance package. Exit stage left, we're going to learn and do some things that are probably tougher and different than what you've done in the past 6 months. If you want to be around for that, we can do that. If you don't, by all means, we love you still. Stay in the community, but exit stage right, because that happens next week. And then everyone gets on board with that. There's a lot of things we don't have figured out. There's a lot of questions that we're going to ask. Let's just go through that process together. And maybe I do that in a smaller subset of the team, so I don't demolish the entire company while I test that, but create that kind of environment for a small, quick reaction force that's going to do that kind of activity. I think that's what I would probably put in place.
Makes sense.
So I think that I would really agree with that. I would add to it that we have to remember that past is not prologue. And in fact, right now in high volatility, high velocity change kinds of moments, right? Your experience is very likely to put you on the wrong foot. Mm-hmm. And that the natural human tendency is to slow down, be incremental, hedge your risk, when it actually, the speed with which you observe, orient, decide, and act, that's the OODA loop in the Air Force, right? That kind of context, is everything. It's everything. Now, that doesn't mean that you can do stupid stuff. You have to be calibrated, and you have to be able to understand some fundamentals that very few people actually understand. So let's just keep one of them uppermost in mind right now, since we're talking about sales management. And that is that in B2B, sales and marketing create value asynchronously in time and space. Mm-hmm. A super easy way to restate that is that sales performance in Q2 and marketing performance in Q2 have nothing to do with each other. That the marketing multiplier, good or bad, that contributed to Q2 sales performance actually happened probably somewhere between 2 and 5 quarters previously, right? And the analytics necessary to understand this have been around for a really super long time. the goal has always been how to operationalize them at the clock speed of the business so that it supports the OODA loop, right? And that everybody doesn't get frustrated by the whole thing of, hey, we had to make a decision and now you're showing up 3 months later with insights. That's bullshit, right? So I think that most, the way we can kind of sum this up is that there are a lot of companies where sales and marketing believes that it's playing one game that is not the game at all, right? And a super easy way to understand this is if you work for a public company where they're doing quarterly reports, they are transmitting information to the street on the real game that's being played. So like revenue mix, profitability mix, all this kind of stuff, right? What's underpinning EPS, what's underpinning stock price, all this kind of stuff, right? Is the game. And if you don't understand that game and you don't manage towards that game, you're going to have a problem, right?